Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Inked Botanicals 6x6 Designer Series paper. Now it matches the Inked and Tiled bundle which has a very botanical stamp set, and then also the little punches that we used last Friday. So if you didn't see that one, you might want to go back and look on Facebook to see what we did with that. But I will go ahead and show you one of the cards that we did before I start this, just because it provides kind of several different of the patterns as well. And if you aren't here live, that's still okay. I still appreciate you hopping by. So do go ahead and leave a comment, even if you are not here live, just to let me know that you were here, and I will say thank you. Okay, so this is the paper. I thought I'd kind of thumb through it quickly. This paper has the kind of the elongated stem in the multicolors, which are pretty much all of the colors that are in the paper. It has a vanilla, and it also has whisper white, which I think makes this really versatile, because you can use, if you don't want so much vanilla, if you want it to look a little brighter, you can use the white, because there's white going through the vanilla here. The other colors in it, of course, are the Pool Party, and then our Lost Lagoon, which is the one we're using as the green, Stampin' Up! Is using as the green, Crushed Curry, Calypso Coral, and Petal Pink. Petal Pink is one that I wish they had called Petal Peach. Okay, so I'm going to show you this first side. All of our papers are double-sided, of course. So I'm going to show you the first side first. So there's that one. Then this one just is the same coloring, except it's minus the Pool Party. And it has kind of a more upturned flower. This has kind of a mottled ditzy print. What I mean by mottled is it's just not all quite there. It has a little bee in the middle of it, I think, which is, or maybe it's not supposed to be that. It's just supposed to be a partially gone flower, but it looks like a bee to me, so, you know, whatever. Then this one is a little branched stem. And then I'm showing you all these crushed curry because I did not find it very easy to use the crushed curry, but if you love crushed curry, it can be really gorgeous. So this is actually the stamped floral image from the stamp, but just kind of various colors and shades on this. There's a nice plaid. This one I kind of consider to be striated, almost like the bark on a tree. This one kind of looks like waving wheat with just a rare random little flower. This one is kind of like just portions of a flower, has a little bit of direction to it. This one is a nice kind of vintagey looking, kind of brushed off type polka dot. And then what I have left here is one of our Lost Lagoon shades, and then a Lost Lagoon that is the, what do you call it? The bark look. Okay, so now when I flip it over, we've got almost the same kinds of colors, just in different backing spots. So you can see here, Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. Great leaf print on this one. This one is just kind of a little bit geometric, just kind of the edges of the flowers. And then conversely, this one is kind of just the inside of the flowers, or almost like little asterisks. This one is really nice. I think it looks kind of like pressed Queen Anne's lace. Here we have the dots again. And then here we have some stems of flowers in Calypso Coral on the Petal Pink. Okay, so we were looking at this side. So now we're looking here. Here are some that are multicolored, the same. Then we have a plaid in the Lost Lagoon and Pool Party. And then a nice, like, pressed looking flower again. And then here we are with our leaves in this colorway, our flowers in this colorway. And then this one is a little different because it only has two of the colors, and the flowers have centers in them, whereas not all of these guys do have center. So now we've pretty much gone through the papers, because I think the rest of them, you know, the multicolors will be covered in when I talk about the cards. Okay, so this was a different sort of fold that I made on Friday. It has the plaid background, and then it has this edging here done in a vertical print. And then as you open it up, looks like I didn't quite get that down in there well, but it has this print as an inside card, and then this polka dot looks nice on the inside. It's a little bit aggressive against these two, but I think putting this on the inside just kind of makes it kind of sweet where I stamped that. So that kind of gives you an idea of the way this particular paper looks with its set. Now I'm going to give you some ideas for using it without its matching set. So the first thing you shouldn't be surprised, I guess, to hear me say, but I do love a good aqua. And so I did hold back from using the Pool Party, but here you can see that I did use the Lost Lagoon, and I layered it here. When there are so many beautiful color patterns in a paper, I like to punch it with either, or die cut it with squares or circles or things like that in order to create kind of a look of some sort of pattern, like you could do circles down the side, squares down the side. And in this case, I used this square here at the top. It's just a 3 1/4 square. 3 1/2 square. And then you would just lay these out neatly on top. Now, you could do it a couple of different ways. I always try to keep my pieces looking like they're going up, which just kind of adds to making it look happier, I think. And then you could use these pieces here to give it even more emphasis. Now, one thing, putting a darker print on the bottom and keeping the light ones at the other 4 points kind of grounds your card and makes this part the part that we look at. So if I were designing this card, I think I would just go ahead and say, okay, let's do that, and let's make this the point at which we put our sentiment. So just one way that you can use that. The next thing I'm going to do is just put some of this gorgeous ribbon on the bottom. First, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut my tie. Like that. And then I'm going to cut across here. And I'm hoping I can reach a glue dot. I can. I'm just going to slide this guy right off here. And I know you all know how to do this, but I might as well complete the card. And if you love yellow, then you might want to have chosen the back side of this and make your card yellow instead of aqua. But aqua is kind of my jam, so that was the first one I thought to make with this. I hope you all are doing well tonight. I had kind of a good day at work today. Got my stuff done pretty quickly, so that was good. I'm going to scooch this up just a little bit. One thing that's great about using, when you're putting on your ribbon, when you have cards that have these lines on them, or paper patterns that have these lines on them, it is so simple to get your ribbon on fairly straight. So I appreciate having that as a possibility. And then I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. Get it all, oops, I ran myself right off the edge there. So I'll be able to get that off in a minute with my little adhesive eraser, wherever it went. Get to that in a second. Go ahead and put this down. Oops. I would like to scooch it just a little bit. There we are. Hadn't committed yet, thank goodness. Okay, so there we are. And then at this point, imagine just me sticking these guys down. And then I'm going to take this little tie right here. Now, I could use a bow if I wanted to. This makes a nice bow, but I just kind of want to show a quick and simple way to use this. Just tie it like that. You can let it go to the edge of the card, or you can cut it smaller. Like if you want to cut down here And sometimes that can look just a little bit happier. So that would be a decision to consider on that. Other things that you can do to make your card a little more fun, you can stick down 3 of them and have the 4th one, whichever one is your favorite, popped up on dimensionals so that you notice it more than the other squares. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some white paper. Let's see here. Here's a piece. I'm just going to try to do a small, here's a happy birthday. I think it may actually even be from our stamp. It is. It's from our Inked and Tiled bundle. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Lost Lagoon and do my happy birthday. Now, if it bothers you to use, and some people it does, to use a straight piece of, all these are straight edges. If it would bother you to use the oval punch, like you can see, it would be perfectly fine to use the oval punch to punch that out. But you can also remember to use your little Inked and Tiled. Let's go ahead and use our circle. Let's pretend that you guys said, oh yes, we like to use ovals with straight edges. No problem. Okay, so there's our little happy birthday. We can put it right over there. And then to finish up the card, we do have the option of adding these tinsel gems. This is the tinsel gem 3-pack. They made it a little bit strange this time because there's a tinsel gem 3-pack and a tinsel gem 4-pack. So this is the one that has the Moonlit, what's it called? Gosh, Misty Moonlight and Fresh Freesia and Lost Lagoon, which is, it's a light Lost Lagoon. It could be several colors. Could be Calypso Coral. I mean, not Calypso Coral. Coastal Cabana. Could be Pool Party, but I think it looks really nice with this. So that's the way that I would finish up this card. Sorry, it seems like I've taken way too long with that card. I apologize. Okay, so the next one, what I was thinking was, so we did that. How could we make this just a little bit different? Still with the same idea, but just make it slightly different. So what I did with this one, I cut my paper vertically instead of horizontally, and my paper, by that I mean cardstock, which is my Petal Pink. I used this particular piece as my background layer, my 5 1/4 by 4. And then I just thought I could, you don't have to do it a particular way, but I thought I could just run these guys down the side like this. If you wanted to add more colors, you could do that with this one. I also considered just kind of putting this down the side, like in here. I don't know how to explain what I was trying to do with this, but just to kind of connect them. I would do that probably with a piece of cardstock in the Calypso Coral, but that would be a choice you could make. I'm just showing you that because I do that sometimes and didn't think to mention it. Okay, so then there's that. And the way I would finish this one up is just pretty much the same thing. Instead of my happy birthday, maybe this time I would use perhaps a thank you or something. Let's see what I have here. This one says, oh, that's not the one I want. Or how about just a note? That's a perfect one. We'll grab some white. And to me, the white looks nice with this one. I think it's cute, but if you prefer the vanilla, I am certainly not going to be offended. And grab my Calypso Coral. Give it a little stamp. There we are. There we go. And then a little punch. You could put it down here. You could layer it onto our scalloped edge. You could punch yourself a scalloped edge, put that in there, or you could do something different if you wanted to. Now we do have a pretty striped Petal Pink. So, you could run it where I was saying about putting the paper, or you could just create yourself a bow. This one makes a great bow as well. I'm a little bit hamstrung tonight because I broke a fingernail, and it's like, oh, so frustrating. That drives me crazy when I do that. Just kind of get my edges. That and add my little bow. I just think it's the ribbon makes such sweet bows. I do like it. Now, I've shown you this putting it down the side, and I didn't stick it down because I wanted to kind of talk about all the ways you could do this. You could turn it on the side like this. You could also just create a little vignette like this. So don't forget all the things that you can do with squares. Like if you ever think, I want to play with squares, just cut yourself several of them, you know, die cut, and then think of all the ways that you can put them. You certainly don't have to be vertical cards. They can be horizontal as well, and you can give it a little turn and have it like this. I mean, there's just a lot of possibilities. So just something to think about there. And then finally, I'm going to use the one with all the colors. So I kind of think this one is a little bit much, and so I'm going to try to cut out our floral image with it. So I did this the same as I did the Lost Lagoon colored one, the original aqua, and I just did it like this. And then I was thinking that probably with this card base, you would want to use one of these pieces that are in the Calypso Coral. I'm not really sure which one I want to use. I think I'm going to start with this one. And I am going to cut around the edge a pretty fair distance because this is really very textured and very modeled in the way that it's stamped. So I'm just going to try to make it as freeform as it can be when I'm cutting as well. I wouldn't want to cut too close because it might become, it might look like I had gotten too close and tried to be too perfect for something that is not supposed to be. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Just kind of finishing this part up. And when the other colors overlap it, I'm just ignoring them. Okay. So there you can see, I would put that right here on the edge piece and then probably pop that up on there. So let me get a piece. Here we are, a Very Vanilla. I think this one definitely calls for Very Vanilla as a choice. And then, I don't know if I want just a note. What sentiment might I like? I can't remember if this Happy Birthday fits in here. Oh, the big one does. Let's try the big one. Let's see here. Might better do a couple stamps so that I have a choice whenever I get ready to put out. Let's see here. I think that'll be about right. If I didn't, yeah, there we go. So that says Happy Birthday Wishes. That's from the branched stamp set. Okay, let's give that a try. I don't know what we'll end up with. Oh yeah, it's actually small enough to fit in there as well. Okay, so I punched that out. And then I'm just going to go ahead and punch another one in the same Very Vanilla. And just remember that you can pop these up on dimensionals as well. And that just gives it a little more texture. Get that just right. There we go. You can just put that wherever. Now, I'm not sure. I think this ribbon looks nice with it, but some people might think it's too aggressive. But you can just kind of see if you think the colors are fighting or not. To me, they're not. But you could also consider using this ribbon again. Now, I do think this ribbon is white. So, you know, the stripe that's in it, or almost stripe. So you might not think it goes very well. So that might be the ones I would use with that. But you could also, in my opinion, use this other new ribbon that actually goes with that kind of strange pot set. I think kind of a rustic sort of look, like you might have picked these wildflowers. Let me get it up here where you can see. There we are. Like you might have picked these wildflowers and pressed them yourself. I think that kind of adds to kind of a rustic look. And in this case, I might not use the colors that match necessarily. I might use something that matches this, which could be little butterflies, little gold butterflies. You might want to use a darker, like a browner type, like I think this, which is the new color, which is the copper clay. That could actually bring out a lot of the darker shades of the Calypso Coral and kind of make it look nice with this. But also, my original thought and plan was just some of the metallic looking gems. But for example, here's the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. I think that those kind of add kind of a natural element to this as well. So anyway, that is a possibility for this. So I'll have to kind of play with this and decide which one I particularly like. So recapping, we looked at this one that has so many of the colors that are in all of the papers. And then let's see, here's the one from the other night. That's a kind of a fun fold. It's a pretty easy one. I'll try to put this up on that particular video and try to get that popped up there. I didn't have as much free time this week as I was hoping from my job, so that will be interesting to see when I get that done. Okay, so there's my just a note, and I think I might have lost my cute little bow. I'm so sad. It was so sweet. Well, that's what happens when you don't stick it down. I'm learning my lesson on that stuff. Okay, and here is our original card where we were just kind of imagining which one to put where, talking about the putting the darker color, if you have one that's dark and several that are light, keeping it at the bottom so that it kind of grounds the card, adding happy birthday and some matching gems. Oh, I like this paper too, Shauna. I think it's very easy to use. I hope that I made it look as easy to use as it is, because sometimes I think I get caught up just talking about it and I don't show the joy that there is in using the papers. I appreciate you all watching. So thanks you all. Bye-bye.